And surprisingly, still Fierytycoon, as of yet, hasn't built a grid of photon cannons to protect his expansions, to protect his bases. I feel like it is so prudent to do so, and now he's making a couple of photon cannons. That cannon couldn't have come at a better time. That is going to save this Nexus and the Templar Archives and the Dark Shrine. Meanwhile, both sides continuing to skirmish in the middle of the map, but Storm's keeping them apart. Really, and you know, the threat of going in and obviously if you go in wrong and you lose everything due to a storm or feedback or whatnot, it is critical. And so both these players know just that. Protoss Shields level 3, by the way, is on the way for Poo. He's about to have the final upgrade, which will put him on par with Fierytycoon. But right now, Fierytycoon is losing critical structures. He needs to save these warp gates. I mean, I guess it's not absolutely critical, but I mean, it would be nice to not lose all your buildings every few minutes and have to rebuild them. You know, that kind of sucks. And he just needs to make some photon cannons. I feel like that would help immensely. The only problem is he doesn't really have that much minerals. And here we go. It looks like Poo might be able to snipe this Nexus. He's actually gained a position here, and not sure what Fierytycoon's doing, but a Nexus could go down. Double time warp fields dropping down. That's the other threat of playing PvP, is you could get time warped, and then you could get stormed, and then it's good night to your Protoss army. Got to be super careful about engaging. Obviously, you have the option of using mass recall as well, but typically battles end so quickly in PvP, mass recall is usually not an ability you want to use. I cannot believe Fierytycoon just kept that Nexus alive. That is incredible. That Nexus is, you know, a warrior. He's a true survivor. Meanwhile, more DTs coming in here. No photon cannons to speak of. Fierytycoon is getting eaten alive by these Dark Templar. They continue to just take out 87 probes have gone down this game already. I mean, that pretty much says it all. But the number of structures as well that have gone down to these ZTs, it's insane. It's literally insane. And so now Fierytycoon brings in his own DTs. He's actually going to morph them into an Archon, which isn't a bad idea. Archons are pretty effective against Dark Templars because they are biological. And there we go. But will this Nexus survive? No, it will not. So just the wait time there costing him incredibly. Meanwhile, though, both players have been just engaging each other left and right. The Storm! Oh my god, the Storm just ripping through the shields of the Void Rays. And now Fierytycoon cannot engage. Without the shields, I mean, it's like he's just been EMP'd. Why fight when you have half the HP? He's got to pull back and he's got to regenerate his shields. And that's exactly what he's going to do. I mean, this is just, if this is PvP for the future, I am down. This is awesome. This is one of the greatest PvP games I have seen to date. And it's still, I don't know who's going to win. I mean, I guess I got to give the edge to Poo now. Poo and his DTs have, I think, maybe secured him potential victory. He's going to go for another, takes out the Twilight Council. Incredible. Could actually kill off this Nexus as well, maybe? No, he won't be able to. But yeah, I think Poo might have the edge now. I mean, look at his bank. He's got 5k, 2k. Yeah, Fierytycoon got a ton of gas, but he doesn't have that much minerals. And it sucks because all he needs to do is get his 73 probes to go mine over here. And go mine over here and stop losing his bases to DT attacks. But I guess it's easier said than done, especially when both sides are continuing to skirmish. I mean, you know, the beautiful thing about this match, it's like they're both somewhat engaging each other in the middle of the map, back and forth, in the hopes of distracting their opponent. Like Poo is doing this constantly, trying to distract his opponent just enough so that his DTs on the back lines can do the damage they need to do to slowly secure victory. This isn't the main battle here. This is actually the distraction. The main battle is what's happening behind the lines in this Protoss versus Protoss. I mean, that's just sick. And you know, if you make a mistake and you don't pay attention to the middle of the map, then all of a sudden your whole army can die to a big attack. So it's very, very APM taxing what these guys are doing right now. And just you know, the sickest PvP that I have seen in some time. I mean, this is incredible. Another Zealot being warped in here on that warp prism. Hello, says the Zealot. Hello, world. But I don't know what he's gonna do. Meanwhile, a couple of Templars still just continuing to. It's a Templar war. That's what it is, man. Jedi versus Jedi, and who is going to win? You know, I'm gonna get a count real quick on the Templar count. We have 12 Templar for Fierytycoon and only 6 for Poo. But is it just me, or does it seem like Poo has been doing more damage with his Templars than Fierytycoon has? Because literally, I think his 6 Templar have been just invaluable. Storming, feedbacking, everything. And they've got, I mean, I feel like he's got map control. He really does. And all the while, man, he's sitting back here. He's sitting on a bank. 7K, 2K. He's got the National Treasury on his side. Another Time Warp field coming down here. Looks like it was Poo's Time Warp. You can always tell because it doesn't affect friendly units. Fiery Tycoon thinking about, oh no, is he going, why would you go in the Time Warp field? Gotta be careful there. That's so risky. You know, I would not have ran into that warp field like that, but he does have a lot of Templar. It looks like he's going to try to go around here, and he's going to go for a secret mission. This is so risky. Wow, he's going to lose a ton of Templar, but he gets a lot of great storms off as well. Not sure if that was worth it. I mean, I really think it was a bit of a wash. Meanwhile, DT's, of course, continuing to do what they do best. A couple of Zealots coming out for Fiery Tycoon, trying to go behind enemy lines as well. I'm surprised he isn't using DTs, but then again, Poo has, you know, wisely built a grid of Photon Cannons. He's got Photon Cannons all over the place. If you want to try to use DTs against any of these Nexi, it is not going to be effective. And when is Poo going to build more cannons? I guess he does have enough now, somewhat. He's got enough cannons now, I think, to protect most of his Nexi. I think he's really learned his lesson here. Don't play PvP late game and not build cannons, because DTs will eat you up alive. So finally he's been able to stabilize that. One Zealot born into this world only to die, a dagger at his side. Beautiful way to die, I suppose. Poetic justice. Yeah, Poo now gonna pull back. Gotta be careful. What's he trying to do? It looks like, no, he's gonna go ahead and go for the engagement here. Fiery Tycoon gonna have to pull back a little bit. I mean, this is amazing. This is Protoss versus Protoss. This is Starcraft 2, man. And so far, it has been a total stalemate. 45 minutes, and look at this! Look at this! The first Colossus is on the way! Alright, Fiery Tycoon gonna try to switch it up now and make a Colossus. Now, the reason why we haven't seen any player go Sky Toss yet, in my opinion, is because you usually want to start making Sky Toss units when you see Colossus. But since Protoss players stopped really going super heavy Colossus in PvP, I guess Sky Toss kind of died out a little bit as well for this matchup. But if one starts making it, then we could see the whole chain restarted. And yes, guess what? We have Colossus on the way, and we even have a Tempest on the way as well. Now, this is really smart from Fiery Tycoon, because he's making Colossus and Tempest at the same time, because he knows if he makes just Colossus, he'll get countered by Tempest, so he needs his own Tempest to help protect. Meanwhile, of course, there's more skirmishes still going on, endless skirmishes. It looks like Poo here thinking about taking out this base, in fact. He might just be able to do it, man. He's got a pretty big army, lots of Archons in here. He's just got to be careful about this Templar. And the Colossus has shown its face. The Colossus has been revealed. And now Poo must realize, oh, you're going Colossus. All right, let me get some, you know, airborne Protoss units out. Let me get some Tempest, some Void Rays, something. And it looks like he's decided to go ahead and go with Void Rays, but he's also adding on, guess what? The Fleet Beacon. And you know why? You need the Fleet Beacon in order to make Tempest. So he's getting the Fleet Beacon because he knows, all right, he's switching into Colossus now. I need to be able to go into Tempest. So I think this PvP, the metagame is about to shift and evolve. We're going to, Charizard now. We were on Charmeleon for some time. Charmander was the start of the game. We're going to Charizard now, and we're going to have Sky Toss versus Sky Toss. How sick would that be? Wow, this is amazing. Now I do like the position of Fiery Tycoon's in. He's got 4 Colossus on the field. Does he have extended thermal lances? He does. That is going to help him so much. These 4, right now, if there's ever a chance for Fiery Tycoon to make a push, this is the time. He's got long-range siege artillery units. I think he could actually win this fight in the middle of the map. The only thing is, wow, is his bank of minerals hurting. He's only got 700 minerals. I don't know what happened to his bank. I mean, he never really had much of a bank to begin with, but then again, he's got a ton of gas, and Poo doesn't have as much gas as he does, so I don't know, man. This game is totally wild. I don't know what's going to happen. I will say Poo's probably got a slight advantage in the fact that he's got so much minerals, but you never know. You never know, really. It's in PvP, Templars are king, and Templars cost gas. Meanwhile, here we go, man. These Colossus obviously using their range to their advantage, providing the Protoss a siege position behind this building. All the guys inside this building right now are like, ah, get out of here. It's like you stare out your office window and you see a huge Colossus just chilling there. That would be pretty scary. Yeah, Fierytycoon right now just chilling outside the building, trying to figure out, I guess, what he wants to do. Poo is still holding on, and it looks like now both players are making Tempest, man. So pretty soon we're gonna have Tempest Wars. The Tempests are doing a great job just sniping down ground units. Now, of course, they're not as good versus normal ground units. They're much better against massive air units. But still, there's a great unit to have in your army. And I really feel like with Fierytycoon being the first one to make the Tempest, being the first one to make the Colossus, he's been able to gain the initiative in this game, has he not? He's been able to push now, and for the first time, I feel like he's actually the aggressor, which, you know, in a game of Starcraft 2, the aggressor wins games. Look at the resources lost, by the way. It's nearly identical. I mean, it's almost creepy, spooky how close that is. This game is just sick. Here we go. Tempests are actually a little exposed. One of them going down. Fierytycoon could have saved that one, I feel like, but not doing so. Meanwhile, a couple of zealots obviously going on another secretive mission. There are a few photon cannons back here though, so not too sure how effective these zealots will be. Meanwhile, these Templar, what are they trying to do? They're trying to get a couple of storms off. Anti-storm coming down. Yes, I called it the anti-storm. It's a counter-storm to the Templar storm, trying to keep the Templars away. And here we go, man. Look at this! Fierytycoon is building photon cannons. He's actually said, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna start making photon cannons, aggressive photon cannons. Very interesting here. I mean, why not? It'll secure his hold in the middle of the map and allow him to have like a platform to launch attacks with, and he can pull back to them as well. Look, he's gonna pull back to his photon cannons now. Pretty smart decision making, I think, from him. Still though, I do feel like his resources, his deficit is it's almost 7,000 minerals. How can he have such a deficit? I'm looking at the resources, the mineral stacks here. He's still got minerals to mine back here and here. Got some minerals back here. What about Poo? Okay, so it seems like Poo is pretty much all but mined out. He's got maybe a little bit left. So in fact, you know, Fierytycoon, he still has money to make. He just hasn't mined it all yet. So if this game continues to go on, he's by no means out of this game because he'll continue mining, whereas Poo he's pretty much mined out everything that he can possibly mine. So there it is, and here we go. Could this be the battle we've been waiting for? Both players have decided to engage, but Fierytycoon decides to pull back. Poo has to engage through the photon cannons if he wants to fight here, and that was bad for him. He just ran the gauntlet on the left-hand side, losing a big chunk of his army, and that battle did not go down well for Poo at all. I think Poo kind of lost out on that one, and all of a sudden, Fierytycoon gaining confidence, gaining momentum. It's Tempests and Tempests all over the place now. There's tons of Tempests, 6 Tempests on the field, in fact, for Fierytycoon, only 3 for Poo. But one thing, once again, Poo's got more money banked, so he can build pretty quickly here. Although, of course, you know, Fierytycoon's got a pretty big bank now as well. Oh man, this game is just the sickest game of all time. I'm trying to think of any tabs I haven't shown you guys yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of their first-person player camera perspectives and see if we can't see anything cool. I'm not sure why it's not working though. So there we go. So we're just looking right now at Fierytycoon. Obviously, this is what he sees at all points here and what he's doing. And he's just kind of controlling his army. Now, in the late game, you're not really focused too much on macro back at home. You can see he's bouncing around a little bit. And this is Poo, who's pretty much focused on defending right now. He knows that that pocket expansion is pretty much the last amount of resources he needs to hang on to. And so he's trying to keep this one stable until it's fully mined out. Then it doesn't matter if you lose this Nexus, you know, really. He just wants to mine it out and get all the gas. You'll note both players using their chrono boost liberally, trying to chrono boost their warp gates, trying to chrono boost anything that remains. I would say one thing they could do right now is make sure they've got plenty of warp gates, but then again, I'm looking at, yeah, I think both sides have more than enough warp gates. So if action goes down, they should be able to rebuild their army pretty quickly. Now look at this. Here's a round of upgrades we haven't seen yet. Air weapons and air armor. Air weapons level 3, air armor level 3 for Poo. Air weapons level 3 is on the way from the cybernetics core for the red Protoss. For Fierytycoon, he needs to get air armor as well. Meanwhile, probes from Poo are trying to take down photon cannons of Fierytycoons. Jeez, this is insane. I mean, everything any player can use is being sent to war right now. Nobody's left behind. The women, the children, everybody's assisting in the war effort. And I mean, this is just amazing. Crazy game. 14 Tempests now on the field for Poo. I think the one who has more Tempests typically usually wins out in these Tempest wars. I mean, I think that's just logic, but I really do feel like Poo's army all of a sudden has gotten a lot more scary. He's got almost, you know, 40% more Tempests than the Red Protoss does. That's going to help immensely. We'll see what happens. One thing I will say is Poo's gas surplus now is getting dangerously low. He's only got 680 gas, 700 gas or so. So the problem here is once he starts losing his critical units, he will not be able to rebuild. In fact, you know what? He's basically mined out all of his geysers. That's a big problem. From here on out, he's only going to be able to make charge lots and photon cannons. So he needs to be really careful how he plays this out now because he's basically out of gas. Big problems here, and Protoss is one of, if not the most gas-intensive race in StarCraft 2. Fierytycoon, all of a sudden, I've got to feel like, you know, if he can win this war of attrition, just starve out the enemy Protoss, he might have this game in the bag. The only problem is, there's more Tempests. You have 15 Tempests versus 7. He's got half the number of Tempests that Poo does, and Poo's continuing to use his Tempests to snipe off long-range and to snipe off enemy units. And this could be the way he wins this game, by simply using a sniper-style strategy, you know, one-shotting everything in his path. And with this many Tempests, there's nothing Fierytycoon can do. I don't know, maybe he should throw away some of his Colossus and make more Tempests of his own. He's actually creating a carrier right now because it's like, I don't know what else to make. But maybe a mothership to cloak his units so that they can't be sniped. I'm not entirely sure what the best way to go about this is, because when your opponent has so many more Tempests than you, you know, I feel like they'll just straight up snipe you down to oblivion. But I don't know. We'll see here. Fierytycoon is thinking about making an attack. He is starting to laser down this Colossus, but the thing is, like, who cares if this Nexus dies? Now it's all the resources are depleted, the gas is gone. You know, Fierytycoon, he can kill it off, it doesn't matter. All you lose is Chrono Boost energy, and Poo's just like, alright, yeah, sure, kill off that Nexus, I don't care. Maybe the only other thing that the enemy Protoss gains, Fierytycoon gains, is map control on this upper edge right here, but I'm not, you know, I don't really know if it's worth going to war for. So I guess Poo just said, alright, yeah, go ahead and have that expansion, it's all yours. What you can call an expansion, it's not really an expansion anymore. So there it is. And now Poo just continuing to go on sniper duty, taking out what he can, but these Colossus, I like what Fierytycoon is doing here. He said, alright, you know what, I don't want Colossus in my army anymore. In fact, I hate them so much now that I'm just going to send them off to go kill infrastructure. And I think maybe Fierytycoon wants these Colossus to die. He might want them to die so he can make more Tempests, because right now it's all about who's got more Tempests, not Colossus. And yeah, here we go. I think he's just going to go ahead and let these guys die and clear up supply capacity. Obviously going to try to kill as many units as he can. Oh, but look at this. Fierytycoon takes the opportunity to go attack the middle location. But once again, this Nexus is all but depleted. There's a bunch of photon cannons here. Killing off this Nexus is just a moral victory. It gives you a morale boost. It doesn't do anything else but that. So I don't even know if killing off or going to attack this Nexus is worth it. Here's an upgrade that we haven't seen yet. Blink is on the way for Fierytycoon. It's almost like he doesn't know what to do, so he's just building everything he can. Meanwhile, this Nexus is trying to out-micro a Dark Templar so can kill off a Nexus, and that it will do. Once again, though, it's just a Nexus, just, you know, killing off the Nexus kind of helps because there won't be Chrono Boost energy, but it's not the end of the world. Meanwhile, oh, this is bad. Fierytycoon gonna lose some Tempest he wasn't paying attention to, and that was a pretty critical blow there. Now, what is he doing to clear the gap here? He's got a 15 supply gap. He should be making more units. I like what Fierytycoon's doing. He said, all right, I don't need probes. I'm gonna throw away my probes here and make more army. In fact, both sides right now should be considering throwing all their probes away. In fact, look at this. Fierytycoon has, it's actually killing off Poo's probes. Poo just said, all right, you got a warp prison there? I'm gonna send all my probes there so you can kill all my workers. And now all of a sudden Poo has more gap, more space to work with. I think Fierytycoon, he should grab this group of probes and right-click over there. And in fact, that's exactly what he's doing. So he's following the example that Poo has let out, and that's very smart. I mean, that's smart. Why have probes right now? They're worthless. Send them into war, and use your gap, your surplus, to make more units. And I don't know why he's leaving them with his army. I think this is a mistake. As cool as probes are, as much damage as they do, as sturdy as they are, and as cool as they can be, they are not a very... I would not be fighting with them right now. That's what I would say for Fiery Tycoon. They would literally die in one Sonic Storm. He should be setting them into fight and then closing the gap with Tempest. Otherwise, I think he's going to lose this game. I think Poo's got the right idea here. Late game mass Tempest, just sniping everything down with his Tempest. And I don't know what he's doing with these probes. He should be sending them in. He should be sending them in to die. I'm not too sure what's going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. But once again, like I said before, you might think Poo has a bunch of minerals. He does. But he doesn't have that much gas. And that means he cannot replenish with anything other than Zealots and Photon Cannons. And, you know, if the enemy has any air unit at all, Zealots are going to be totally worthless. So it's really an interesting game because Poo cannot afford to lose anything here, because any critical unit he loses essentially means that he loses that unit forever. He is not remaking any unit that costs gas. And he's actually got some probes back here. He might not realize it, but he should send those probes in to die as well. If anything, I might leave like 1 or 2 probes left in case it goes into a base race situation and you need a few probes to start making pylons or something like that. But other than that, I'd throw away all the probes I have right now. I'm not sure why they're not doing that. There are a couple of more photon cannons being warped in here. It really seems like maybe both players... This is the thing, when you get into a super late game of StarCraft 2, sometimes your brain actually just shuts down and you stop thinking. I mean, like, I know I'm casting this from my perspective, and, you know, it's pretty apparently obvious that he should be throwing away his workers here, and so should the blue Protoss player. You know, maybe Fiery Tycoon, his brain has just... He's just completely shut down. He doesn't realize that these probes aren't going to be effective. They're not going to do anything. He should be throwing them away, like Poo is doing. I mean, could it be more painstakingly more obvious when Poo throws all of his probes away for no reason at all? And whoa, what is Fiery Tycoon doing? I think Fiery Tycoon here is going to say, all right, I'm going to use the nimble mobility of my stalkers, and I'm going to try to beat you in a base trade now. And obviously going for Stargates and Warp Gates here is going to be absolutely key. Although not even really, because Poo can't make any more gas-intensive units. Remember, he's out of gas pretty much. So, alright, I guess if Fiery Tycoon wants to go for this base trade scenario, I mean, it's not a terrible idea. I do like how he's made Blink Stalkers, which, you know, they're okay against Tempest if you can blink underneath them. But this is really sketchy. If he loses all these stalkers, I mean, that's a lot of resources that you need in a war of attrition. You don't want to just throw them away for no reason at all. And what is going on here? We've got the March of the Probes. Maybe finally he's come to his senses. He's going to go attack with them. Not entirely sure. Maybe he's thinking about backing up these stalkers. But these stalkers have got to get out of here, man. They got to go. They got to go. And they are going to get out of the way, but a lot of them dying there. And here we go. Fiery Tycoon joins up with the rest of his stalkers with his probe armada. He is making 4 more Tempests, though, and that is very relieving to see, because I don't want to see him just straight up die because he didn't have enough Tempests. You know, he needs more Tempests. I would say he needs 15 Tempests, just like Poo has. The more Tempests you have, the better, man. They are just that damn good. So yeah, I think he needs a few more Tempests. He's making them right now. He really needs to throw away his probes. I can't stop saying it. I'll try, though. I'll try to stop saying it now. But anyways, here comes Poo. Oh, he's gonna go in and get a bunch of great snipes off. That's the power of having Tempests. You can lead, you can engage, you can pick off a lot of units, and the other player can't do anything. More units going down there. Great storm, though, from Fiery Tycoon. But Fiery Tycoon, he is... I don't know, man. I almost feel like his brain literally has shut down. He's making 9 Templar, though. Oh, man. Now he's starting to eat into his gas to the point where he will not be able to create anything new. That could be an issue, honestly, for Fiery Tycoon. Now, I don't know. Will these Templar be able to beat Tempests? I don't think so. Storm isn't that great against Tempests. So I don't know why he's making Templar. But this could be, I mean, I think maybe Poo might just win this game due to his composition, due to the fact that he has so many more Tempests than his opponent does. He's sniping out critical buildings. Looks like he just took out the Templar Archives and the Dark Shrine. So no more DTs, no more Templar. Although a round was created for some more Archons momentarily. So Fiery Tycoon is once again maxed out, but I feel like that was a mistake to make these Archons, because now he's used all of his gas. Both players are out of gas pretty much. So it just comes down to this war here, and I honestly feel like the one with more Tempest will win. I don't know, we'll see. Will there be enough Archons to get underneath the Tempest? Here we go, this is sickness! And who is going to come out ahead? I'm not even going to bother to commentate on the action. It looks like Fiery Tycoon maybe has enough Archons here. He does have enough Archons. Can he get underneath the Tempest? No, he cannot. No, he cannot. And Poo and Fiery Tycoon GG it out. Wow. That was incredible. An hour and 11 minutes long. Jeez, that was crazy. And pretty sick PvP right there. Obviously, I definitely feel like if Fiery Tycoon had done what I had said earlier on, I think he would have had a better chance of winning this game. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let that be a learning lesson. Get into late game PvP. Tempests are good. Real good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. If you did, make sure to subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at HD Starcraft. Also, send me your sick replays at HDreplays@gmail.com. And last but not least, I'm off to Vegas. I'll see you guys in a few days, but I will be uploading videos throughout this weekend. I guess for you guys, this will be like Sunday or something. For you viewers, this will be Sunday when you guys get this video, and I'll be having a new video up on Monday, so it won't matter anyways. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later, and this is HD Starcraft. I'm done. I'm signing out.